You just do that and I'll pop out. No, I'm just kidding.
You're welcome.
Hello and welcome back to our next nest. This is how to build a shower part 2, I believe, should be. So today, we only got one thing done really. We had to spend a lot of time going to find tile. So we were able to finish out the shower pan. We laid some fast setting Quikrete down here. Sets up really quickly and it's really easy to form and things like that, but it's also going to allow us to lay tile tomorrow. If you were to lay cement in here with some other form of, cement mix that doesn't set as quickly, it's going to take longer and you might be waiting all weekend. So we got that done. Actually, an interesting thing, my dad and I were walking through the aisles looking for the appropriate concrete, and a guy overhears us and says, it's Quikrete fast setting, that's the best thing. And that guy was right. The only thing he was off on is the fact that we needed 4 bags, not 2. So we got our 4 bags, we're gonna go there. I guess the thing to keep in mind if you can't find that brand or whatever it is you just want a concrete with a lot of small rocks. You don't want big rocks because that leads to big holes and a longer time to set. And also it's just not gonna stick to each other as much, and you really want that stickiness so you get a watertight seal. So we got that going for us. You can see behind me, that's the tile we're going to be laying tomorrow. So we're going to be laying this like subway looking marble tile down here. We're not going to start with the floor. Some tiles require you to do that, especially old tiles that at the bottom they had a lip so the water would run off correctly. We are fortunate we don't have that tile, so we don't have to lay the floor first. Which is great because that means we'll be laying tile on the walls without walking on our floor tile, moving it around. But we're going to start from the bottom. We're going to try and ensure it's even, and we're going to have lines going up and down the top so we got a nice, even, both horizontally and vertically, pattern. That's one of the toughest things to get right about a shower. So spend a lot of time prepping on that. But we got that going for us. We're going to do the top as well, and then we'll finally do the bottom, and we're going to make our own bull nose here on the edge to kind of finish off this front edge. If you see here, you could get bullnose tile. You can also just do something like this. So I can take this guy, cut this guy in half, and bring them up right next to each other, and I've got a smooth edge. So if you don't want to pay for bullnose or it's not available because these tiles don't have it, you can certainly put that together. But next time you see us, it'll be tomorrow morning, and we'll be drawing lines and we'll be ready to go on laying tile. See you then. Okay everyone, we are in the midst of installing this shower. Got started a bit late with the camera, not actually on the tile, but with the camera, so you didn't get to see a bit of the prep we did here earlier, but it's important to talk about. So, one of the first things that we did is, one, we took a measurement from the base of our shower pan on the left to the ceiling, and the base of our shower pan on the right to the ceiling, because we laid this, right? Human error and just trying to get a grade in place, you're always going to be off. And so you don't want your tile line to be off. If we were just to set our tile directly on the shower pan, it would be off and we'd have these crazy lines, even with spacers, which by the way, get spacers. So what we did is we measured and then we found out how much we were off. We were off about an inch lower on this side, or a half an inch lower on this side than we were on that side. And so what we did was just fashioned a shim out of siding that we had here. It goes about half an inch over here to nothing on this side, if you can see it. Kind of goes to nothing here. And we use that as a base. And then, we're putting it on the wall, so the tiles are wanting to fall on something, so now they're falling on the shim, and then the spacers help out in between. So by the time we got to about this row, using spacers, any unevenness from the bottom shower pan is pretty much washed out, and we're getting a nice line all the way up. The other key thing to focus in on is the fact that, okay, you're never, well, you might, but it's unlikely that you have your tiles in the exact right size and you can lay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with no cut. You're going to be cutting. And the thing is, if you start on one side and then you go all the way to the other and you're only cutting that side, it's going to look uneven and it's not going to look symmetrical. So what you do is you start from the center. So what we did is we measured the width, obviously, and then we put our center here. Your walls are going to be uneven, so you keep measuring where your center is, and you start from the bottom, you put your first tile in the center, and everything else pretty much works itself out with the spacers and the shim. So what we got to we started with this tile, worked our way out, we're making cuts over here and cuts over here, and it's pretty even. And then we're saving those tiles for the side over here. So we're making a lot of progress. We're gonna keep on going. And we will talk a little bit about mastic and tile and things like that here in an upcoming video. But right now we got a lot of tile legs, so see you in a sec. Brilliant. I see what you did there. So why are you putting the mastic directly on the tile?
Oh, because you really can't get a trowel up on the side like that, so the last few pieces, usually you put the mastic on the tile to be able to make sure I get a good solid base, or a solid, get some in there, get mastic on the tile itself and get mastic on the, which goes to the wall of course, but at least it gets a good seal, Let's go. the base on this thing with the rest of the tiles so they come out even. Okay, so I think it's going to be higher over here. So we're going to have to seamless weld right there. We might have to cut our first row a little bit.
Okay.
You know, but that won't be noticeable because the bottom goes up against it. So we need to sequence this little fella.
Okay, so we're now laying this wall. We've already done this full wall over here, and what we're trying to do is get a nice even line again. And so we're trying to learn from what we did over here and have a bigger shim so there's more support for the tiles because they're pretty heavy as they weigh down. You know, gravity makes them want to fall as we glue them on the wall with the Mastech. So what we're doing is we're just taking a bigger board, we're skipping this first bottom layer. We'll come back and do that later so that we can screw a little piece of trim that's going to work well right here into the wall as a really nice solid base. And we're just going to level off that piece of wood, screw it in at where it's level, and then we start laying our tile above that. So in the background you can hear us cutting that piece of trim right now. Once we get it level, we'll screw that in the wall, and then we'll start laying tile on top. A little bit higher actually. Lower, lower, right there. A little bit higher. There it is. That's gonna do it. That's great. Is that good? Yeah. Nice.
So I noticed that you're not like cutting tiles one after another.
That's right.
What's the reason for that?
Well, so the walls, the green sheetrock here, it's called green rock, kind of bows. It's an old house, so the framing isn't exactly straight. And so we're just trying to match up the right edge with the factory edge of the tile and then adjust everything according to that. So what we do is we cut at the very end once we know the exact measurement. All right, everybody, we have finished tiling both the right and the left walls. Our little shim system that we'll show you here in a sec worked really well. We ran short a few tiles, so we're gonna have to make a trip this weekend, but we are looking really good for the end of day 2 here at How to Build a Shower. So you wanna show them our stuff, Link? Mm-hmm. All right. Alrighty, so that's it. We will see you here for part 3 on our next nest of how we built a shower. Thanks, bye. And some of the shimsies will restart.
Is that a specific tile cutting machine?
It is, it's called a tile cutting machine.
Huh.
Another good week here at the Nestled Inn Lakewood.